Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Michael. I've been away for a couple of days. Got some good rest. So here I am. Mornings with Michael is for information and educational purposes only. So let's take a look at some things that are moving out there. First, I want to take a look at our heat map. Today, it's pretty much a chill map. Microsoft was up 9%, I believe, after hours last night. It has pulled back some. It's only up close to 3%. Most of all the other tech is down. Did get a bounce yesterday. We'll take a look at the indexes a little later. It's trying to bottom. Thursdays, as soon as we could get a follow-through day for a rally of some sort. But healthcare is the only other area that's doing anything today. So let me share our other screen. This is what I'd like to share with everybody. Annuities beat index investing by about 5%. Index's average annual growth is 7.57, whereas annuity average annual growth is 12.58. Annuities go up a step and do not come down. So you do not lose money in an annuity. You can lose some money in this stock market, indexes, what have you. So once it goes up another step, does not come down. Currently, annuities are giving between 40 and 45% bonuses for all new money coming into them. For example, $100,000 new money coming into annuity, you could get extra $40,000 in cash into your account. So there you go. Yes, you can take money out of an annuity. You can take up to 10% out per year. So generally, they have a 7-year limit. You have to keep the money there. And that's the news I have. If you want more information, please get in contact with me. And let's go to our screen. Before we get to the news, we'll look at our dollar. Had pulled back, a little bit of consolidation, and now it's popping up today, gapped up today. Some pretty good volume, had good volume yesterday. It moved up to the high, of Friday's strong pullback. And let's take a look at the metals. Gold, even with the dollar popping up, gold is up strong today. It has a looks like a triple bottom here, and it looks poised for a breakout. Silver, working on looks like a cup with a handle, definitely a double bottom here. Here's the first leg down, second leg down. So we'll continue to watch that. Copper, Arrow Copper is continuing to pull back. We thought it had bottomed, but not quite yet. Southern Copper, strong pullback. And FCX, Freeport-McMoRan, is pulling back as well. So let's take a look at the news, and then we'll go on to look at our bond yields. U.S. Federal Reserve is expected Wednesday to propose an official review of fees banks can charge retailers for debit card transactions, setting a battle between the two industries that could result in a court challenge. Scheduled Fed board meeting will mark the first time in over a decade that the central bank has proposed revisiting the fees generated around 24.31 billion for lenders in 2019. The most recent Fed data shows, says Reuters. The worst sell-off of longer-term treasuries in more than 4 decades is putting a spotlight on the market's biggest missing buyer, the Federal Reserve. The Fed is shrinking its portfolio of government securities at a $720 billion annual pace, making the Treasury Department's job of funding a near $2 trillion federal deficit all the much harder. And Israel's credit outlook was cut to negative by S&P Global Ratings, which cited risk related to its war with Hamas. On to sector news breakdown. Let's pull up the chart. BYD Boyd Gaming, Q3 adjusted EPS $1.36 versus estimate $1.47. Microsoft was the other yesterday, so we'll pull this up. It's gapped up, and it's right now on its low. A relative strength has moved into a high ground against the S&P 500. You can look at Google as well, Alphabet, and they're dropping like a rock. So down almost 10%, declining revenues, I believe. Earnings came in at 42% increase, which was 8.5% earnings surprise, but not a good enough, not what investors were expecting. Hawaiian Holdings, Q3 adjusted EPS loss, $1.06 versus 94 cents, dropped, and then drop and pop, as they say, trying to come back and save the day. Hilton, Q3 adjusted EPS $1.67, in line with consensus estimates, and it's moved up and pulled back halfway down the move of today. Energy, Champion X, Q3 EPS disappoints greatly. EPS 41 cents versus estimate of 50 cents. Sold off heavy, trying to come back, but it's still below its 200-day moving average. Earnings came in at 24%, a negative view of 12%. Matador Resources, Q3 adjusted EPS $1.86 versus $1.65. They beat estimates, but still investors not too thrilled with it. Down 31%, 11.5% earnings surprise. Oil has been retreating. We'll take a look at that in a bit. Range Resources, Q3 EPS 46 cents versus 35 cents, and this one is up. Their earnings are down 66%, and there's earnings surprise of 33%. And SPWR, SunPower, is going to restate financial statements as it finds material weakness in control for financial reporting. And this cannot win the favor. It's down 18%. So let's take a look at oil. It's doing today. It was down heavily yesterday, but it is popping up today. Take a look at one of our favorites, Weatherford. Is up 94.66. PNK. Oil tanker continues to move up, and International Ocean looks like it's ready to break out as well. On to financials. Visa Q4 adjusted EPS $2.33 versus estimate of $2.24. Initially sold off, bounced off the 200-day moving average, moving up. Chubb Q3 core EPS 4.95 versus estimate of 4.44. And financial money managers like that as it's moving. Got some pretty good volume and moving up. CoStar Group, Q3 EPS 22 cents versus estimate 30 cents, and that's not going to win the day. Sorry, folks. Look at that gap down. It's trying to come back, but it is well below its 200-day moving average. And what do I say? Nothing good happens under the 200-day moving average. That's what I say. Deutsche Bank, net profit attributable, net profit attributed to shareholders was 1.031 billion euros, beating around 937 million, and that is gapping up. Yes, they'll love that every day. Up 7.6%. Robert Half International Q3 EPS 90 cents versus estimate of 81 cents, moved up and now is pulling back. Maybe they didn't like the forward guidance. 12% earnings surprise, earnings down 41%. European payments company Worldline SA shares plummeted after cutting its sales outlook. Worldline is said to now see organic sales growth between 6 and 7% compared to 8 and 10%. And let's see if this one will come up. Aiden is a Netherlands company whose payments are down on sympathy 7.6%. PayPal, come on, PayPal. See if this will come up. There we go. PayPal is dropping nearly 5%. Square Block is dropping 8.22%. Global Payments dropping 5%. Fidelity National Information Services dropping 3.42%. And Fiserv is down 0.36%. It was down earlier yesterday and it bounced back. Actually, it gapped up and then it pulled back and then it finished pretty strong. Marathon Digital files automatic mixed shelf securities, and nobody really likes those. It dilutes their holdings. It's down 3%. On to healthcare. Teladoc, Q3 EPS loss 35 cents versus estimate loss of 37 cents, sells off. Teladoc hasn't done much since the pandemic of 2020. Thermo Fisher's Q3 adjusted EPS $5.69 versus estimate of the same. It is down 6.21%. On to industrials and materials. Canadian National EPS $1.69 Canadian versus estimate of $1.72 Canadian, and it is, surprise, surprise, gapping up. LiveNet upgraded to buy from hold at Deutsche Bank, but cut target to 21 from 27, and it's holding right in that category of 1566. MSM Industrial Q4 adjusted EPS $1.64 versus $1.62, and people did not like that. It continues its downward knifing pattern. Loss of 8% and only beat by 1%. And finally, in this category, not finally in the news, but waste management. Wow, look at that shoot up like a rocket. Earnings came in at $1.63 versus $1.61. And obviously they like that. Earnings up 4%, a 5% beat on what people were looking for. Now on to media and telecom. We looked at Microsoft earlier. The Q3 adjusted EPS $2.99 versus $2.65. Azure and other cloud service revenues up 29% above estimates. Google Q3 EPS $1.55 versus $1.45, but their revenues are slowing, so that's why people did not like that. F5 Networks Q4 adjusted EPS $3.50 versus estimate of $3.22, and it's ending its retracement. We'll see if that holds. Snap Q3 adjusted EPS 2 cents versus estimate loss of 4 cents. Initially went up and now it is diving lower. Their earnings came in at negative 75%. Texas Instruments Q3 EPS $1.85 versus $1.81. People did not like that either. Maybe it was a forward guidance. And it is pulling negative 25% on the earnings front. Finally, Manhattan Associates Q3 adjusted EPS $1.05 versus 76. It's ending its downward track, and we'll see if it can continue upward. So that is that. Let's take a look at our bonds. Our bonds had a two-day pullback. Two-day pullback does not make a trend, and they're up today, getting close to 5%, is 4.949 or 4.95% yield. We'll continue to watch that. And we got the 20-year yield at 4.41%, and that's heading up pretty high there as well. And based on that, let's take a look at our indexes. Zero VIX shooting up. I said it would be above 20 after it had the pullback, and here we are above 20. I think we may go a little higher. As long as the bond yield goes higher, I believe the VIX will go higher. Look at the S&P 500, definitely pulling back. We got a new low here. Took out the low over here. Not looking good, down 1.33%. It was up, I believe, less than 0.9% yesterday. And let's take a look at the equal weighted. It's doing about the same, about 1% down. Takes out a new low. Look at the NASDAQ 100, down 2.35%. Our equal weighting, taking out the big techs, looks even worse, down 2.3% approximately. Small caps diving lower, just hit a new low, down 1.45%, new low for the year, that is. And our Dow Jones is performing the best of all four of the indexes. So that's the look there. Let's see what we can bring up here. Let's take a look at our indexes, the financials, holding steady. Energy, about the same. Communications, where we got Google and Facebook, is diving like a rock. Take a look at Meta. It's down pretty strong. Kind of feeling what Snap did may happen to Facebook. We don't know for sure yet, but we'll know in a day or two. After the close today, I believe. And biotech is heading down. Wow, this one is really diving. Software has been our strongest. It's taken a dive today, nearly down 3%. Technology holding a little, definitely stronger. Our semiconductors continue to dive. Industrials trying to hang in there. Consumer staples, which isn't really a good sign for growth stocks when consumer staples heads up, but it is what it is. Building materials are diving. Home builders are gapping down pretty strong. And our metals and mining, they look better than most. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just on a big power move, gapped up 1, 2, 3 days in a row, and it is up again today. Ethereum moving up as well. Looks like they're both breaking out of long-term consolidation. And let's take a look where money is moving, if we can find any money that is moving in a positive direction anyway. We've looked at TNK and INSW. Got Prague Holdings, electronics and furniture, tried to move up, pulling back. Chubb, which we looked at a little earlier, I believe, it's moving up. 58% earnings increase, 11% earnings surprise. Manhattan and Associates moving up on a 59% earnings increase. Pretty good volume in both yesterday and today. Hilton, earnings increased 27%. 3 days in a row, pretty good buying volume. F5, 34% earnings increase. Everybody is liking that. 2 huge days in a row. MicroStrategy, they have most of their assets in Bitcoin, and they are moving up decisively. A lot of buying, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. Education is up big. Earnings in 135% up. Chinese provider of language training and test prep courses. And finally, LRN. Stride, huge gap up. 120% earnings change. Earnings surprise of 179%. Their earnings are supposed to be up 46% in 2024. And let's see what is people are moving out of. We looked at Thermo Fisher. We looked at Google. We looked at BYD. PIMCO active bond. People are moving out of the bonds. CoStar Group gapping down. No increase in earnings. And it was trending down before that. So if you weren't out before today, shame on you. Fortive gapping down hugely. Earnings came in at 8%, pretty flat to what people expected. Option Care Health. Earnings were up 48%, but people wanted a lot more, and it is gapping down on huge move. Vicor, modular power components for telecom, gapping down 28%. And their earnings were up 825%. Wow. That just kind of blows you away. Idea Biosciences had sold off and they're trying to fight back here. And GBX, Greenbrier, transportation equipment, gapping down. People were expecting much better than 53%. And that's a look there. Wanted to look at a couple other issues that we had been profiling. Belite Bio. Look at all this huge buying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's selling off today, but so slightly. Just to let everybody know, I bought 500 shares of this, 100 on Friday and 400 more yesterday. So we'll see if this cup or produces a handle, continues to go up. The estimate is 48, but we'll just have to wait and see. So we're going to look at 14 stocks that where the carnage professional money managers are moving their money into. So some are in energy, some are in healthcare. So let's just take a look at them. Share my screen again. This is definitely in healthcare. So BLTE is one area that they're moving their money. It's up 72% or 75% for the year. I'm not sure why Eli Lilly doesn't want to come up. Eli Lilly is one area that they've been moving their money. As you can see, huge buying over here. All these huge blue bars selling off a little bit today. Progressive. So Eli Lilly is up 30% since July. Progressive's up 24%. A lot of buying over here, here. Looks like it's working on a cup right now. Constellation Energy is up 18% since July. Been moving a lot of money in here. I missed one in ANET, networking. It's up almost 23% since July. Amgen in healthcare, up about 18% since July. A lot of money moving in here. CBOE Global Markets is up about a little over 16% since July. You can see all these buy tracks right down here. Strength against the S&P 500 is up pretty strong. Axon, Warren Buffett had been buying this as well. Working on a cup with a handle. It's up 14, almost 15%. Humana, also in healthcare, up about 13%. Looks like a kind of a funny cup with handle. Rating 86% is beating 86% of the S&P 500. McKesson, also in healthcare, up 12.3% since July. You can see all these buy tracks recently. Marathon Petroleum is up pretty big, about 12%. Diamondback Energy, working on a really big consolidation. You have to look at this on a weekly pattern. Looks like it's in a channel pattern. See if it can break out. It has a number of weeks tight here, about 10. I was moved up, trying to pull back. NRG Energy, up about 10.7%, the same as Diamondback Energy. Allstate is up about 10% since July. Looks like that's where money managers are moving their money. And finally, Kamai Technologies, up 10.3%. It is falling the last week. I personally haven't cared for the stock. I've tried to trade it a few times and always turns my stomach kind of queasy. So that's kind of where investors are moving their money when they have to be invested. And then these are the blockchain stocks that people are buying. We looked at MicroStrategy. It's working on a cup. Huge buying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Coinbase still needs to work on the right side of its base. We got a few days of buying here. And let's take a look at this GBTC. Look at all the buying over here. This massive buying as Bitcoin is trending up. So that'll be our report for today. This has been Mornings with Michael for informational and education purposes only. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And be well. I hope you had a great Taco Tuesday. And Wednesday, I hope it's the key to your success for this week. And keep working strong on your goals and your activities, and finish the week strong. And we'll catch each other tomorrow. Happy day.